Hey dudes, welcome to episode 2 of Qwednesday, the show where I answer your questions with answers on a Wednesday. My name is Rory McLean and I punch cliches in the jugular. Okay, so firstly I have to apologise. I've had to shortlist a couple of questions for this episode. All the questions I haven't got around to answering this one I will do in next week's Qwednesday, so I'll get back to everyone, and I'm looking forward to answering all of the questions. Thanks as always for everyone's comments and questions and interest, it's really cool. I just had a few technical issues and some other things which got in the way and just meant that I've had to shoot this a little bit later than planned. So yeah, I'll race through these questions, answer kind of the more interesting or useful questions, and then I'll answer all of the ones I've missed out in next week. So first up we've got Kringle, who says, "Hey man, just wanted to say I'm really enjoying the content you're creating. I hope you keep it up on the regular and your audience grows." Thank you very much, man. Like, I'm really enjoying making this content as well, and I don't intend on stopping anytime soon. So to be honest, I don't really feel like the storm has even begun yet. So Kringle says, "I was just wondering if you've had much experience playing in bands, original bands, and if there is any music you have out that we can check out /support ? Cheers." Original bands, yes. I studied at the ACM in Guildford, which is a music college, and studied bass there. It's quite a performance-based course, so I turned up and they put you into bands. Being a bass player as well, just purely due to numbers. It was like 100 guitarists and then 5 bass players or something, so I ended up in a load of bands there, learnt a lot through those, joined some originals bands on the side of the course as well, and we were out gigging, kind of having fun. And then yeah, from there I was in a ska punk band called 6.5, which had like a 3-piece horn section. It was loads of fun to play. Then I joined a band called Flying Ike, again on bass. Stylistically it was complete bonkers. It was like a blend of pop music and grindcore, and there was just, it definitely like blurred the genre lines. So we emptied rooms just as much as we entertained them, just because it was weird, but loads of fun to play. Then after Flying Ike, I was in Scratch Latin with Matt Hornby, Dave Hollingworth and Bim Sad. That was wicked, and I think I learned a lot from Scratch, just being in a band and Scratch as a thing. So I learned a lot musically, but I also learned a lot peripherally about kind of what goes into being in a band and all the other aspects of it. So yeah, that was definitely probably the biggest gain in experience, I think, was probably from Scratch. In terms of bands or music that you can check out /support, I was going to keep this on the down low, but I did have a solo project called False Sense a couple of years ago. I put out 3 EPs. It's all my own stuff. I just layered up some songs, recorded them, released them. The reason I wanted to keep it quiet is just because I feel like I cut my teeth with it, and it was a bit of a learning curve, and I think I can do everything I did with False Sense better now in the future with things like Big Zillion and this channel and just music that I'm doing from here on. So haven't wanted to shout too loud about it, but I'll leave a link. You can go and check False Sense out, and yeah, see what you think of that. Any support is greatly appreciated. I will just say though, I think for the meantime at least, I'll be putting all my energy into this channel and Big Zillion. So False Sense will kind of sit where it's at least for the moment. Who knows what will happen in the future, but yeah, check it out, see what you think, and I hope you enjoy it. And next up is Cam Beattie, who says, "In Qwednesday, show us some of your favourite weird / cool chords, please." This is a cool question. I'll show you a couple of chords that I've got. Obviously these make a lot more sense when in context of kind of the key that you're playing in. So what I'll do just very quickly is show you the shapes of the chords, and and then in a later video I'll maybe go into more depth, talk about the theory and the relativity behind how you can use these chords relative to what key you're playing in, and or scale, all of that stuff. So yeah, in terms of shapes, the first one is pretty simple. I'm in drop D, or drop tuned. I'm in drop C sharp, but I'm drop tuned. So you bar the 5th fret on the first 3 strings, then just add the minor 3rd on top, the 8th fret on the middle D. It's a pretty simple one, but I use that all the time. It's really effective. So yeah, that's number 1. Number 2 would be a kind of major minor 7 shape. So I'm playing this on the 12th fret on the A, 11th on the D, and then 12th on the G, and you get this. This is really good for returning to the root. If this is the last chord in the progression, you want to return back to the root of whatever you're playing in. You just hit this chord and then climb down the minor scale, and you get this kind of cheeky. Well, I'll play it for you. You can hear. It sounds like this. Let's see, what else is there? I mentioned this in last week's Qwednesday, but I'm just going to show it again because this is probably my most used shape. It's if you go for the 8th fret on the low D, 11 on the A, and then 12th on the middle D. That's a great chord. Generally, if I catch myself overusing an idea, I'll try and limit myself and rein it in. But this chord, that chord shape, I've found so many different uses for, and I think it's become quite a big part of my sound. So yeah, that's always a good one. And again, maybe I'll go into more depth on that kind of shape and how you can use it, what you can do with it in later videos. And then finally, the last one, this one's really cool. If you go for the 7th fret on the middle D, 8th fret on the G, and then the 5th fret on the B and E strings, you get this. I really like that chord. I don't know if it's just me, but it always makes me think of kind of like train heisty, western, shoot 'em up, that sort of vibe, kind of dusty desert trails. So yeah, that's a hot favourite of mine as well. So there are plenty more chords. I've got loads of weird, cool shapes that I can show you, but those are a couple to get started with. Next up we have Aditya, who says, great video, thank you all. That slap hammer-on pull-off thing was really cool, kind of like your signature sound. Cool stuff. You should really consider ding a pedalboard run-through. Those amazing Strymons though. Ooh. Another thing, is there a reason you use drop D/C sharp exclusively? Like most of your riffs are in drop D/C sharp, I've noticed. Been starting to use the same tuning more often on my guitars as well. Smiley face. The reason for using C sharp, it predominantly comes from when I was in scratch, because I was singing as well, doing vocals, and just drop tuning that half step meant that I didn't have to push my vocals quite so hard, and I could, if I had ideas that I wanted to lay down vocally over the top, it wasn't quite so difficult to get those down and do them. So that's why I use C sharp. I've just never kind of got out of the habit of using it really. And then drop D, I don't use it exclusively. I know most of the riffs, well in fact all of the riffs I think I've played that you guys will have heard so far have been in drop D. But I don't use it exclusively. I've got several in standard as well. I also used to do, when I change my strings, I do this cool kind of little exercise, I guess you'd call it, where I'll stick the new strings on, tune them until the point where there's tension in the strings, and then get my tuner and tune each string to the closest note that it's tuned to. So you end up with a completely weird tuning across the strings, but it is all tuned to concert pitch, like 440 Hertz. And then yeah, when you've done that, you sit down and try and write a riff or a song, or just see what happens with that kind of weird tuning, because it completely blows your all concept of shapes and theory and your usual playing style. You have to completely adapt. It's like picking a guitar up for the first time, but you're not going through the motions of learning how to pick, or, you know, getting your left hand up to speed. You can do all that, but you're just on it in completely new territory. So yeah, I might even write a song with that scene. That would be kind of cool. I had completely forgotten that I used to do that, but yeah, that might be fun. So that's the reasons, really. I think with drop D as well, it's really easy to add extra voicings to the chord. As I said in previous videos, I have a habit of overstretching a lot, and I do that because it just gives you these really interesting voicings, and yeah, it feels to me at least like you can do a bit more with it. If you're in standard, you're having to hold the root chord as well as stretch, and you limit yourself to, like, there I'm stretching an extra 3 frets, whereas if it was a G, I'd be stretching, what is that, 6? Yeah. So yeah, it just gives you a bit more reach, a bit more to play with. So that's why I use drop D / C sharp. And then last up is Jacob M16, who says, random question, what's your favourite ice cream and your favourite pizza? My favourite ice cream used to be Ben & Jerry's cookie dough, but we have, in the UK, we have a supermarket called Sainsbury's who do their own brand of cookie dough, and the cookie dough to ice cream ratio is so much more than Ben & Jerry's. It's like 50% cookie dough, and then they swirl caramel into the ice cream afterwards as well. So yeah, Sainsbury's own cookie dough for ice cream. And then favourite pizza, I'm vegetarian and I normally just go for like a margherita, but freshly made though, like proper traditional Italian style pizza. I'm not into like takeaway pizza. So there we go, that was episode 2 of Qwednesdays. As always, thank you very much for watching, and apologies that this one was a bit short. I do have a load of other questions that I'd saved that I wanted to get around to answering. I just won't have the time this week, but I will do, like I say, next week. If you're new to the channel, then please like, share and subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as well. I do other weekly shows, so we've got Looper Mondays, Qwednesdays obviously on a Qwednesday, and then Rory Commends on a Friday, where I just recommend some bands that I've been listening to or just discovered or have influenced my playing and I think I should share. I've got some cool ones coming up this week, so definitely check that out. Yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Until then, peace out. I've been Rory.